I don't even know how you can. These numbers are sick. Almost 1 million people laid off from major companies, another 300,000 from the federal level, 7.4 million people officially unemployed, with 1.9 million people. That's over 25% have been jobless for over 6 months. And from January to August alone, 13.8 million people were involuntarily terminated. These aren't just numbers, they're people. People trying to pay rent, keep families steady, hold on to identity, and this year isn't even over yet. Whether you've been let go, know someone who has, or if you're quietly scrolling job listings during lunch, the job market right now is a war zone. Getting a good job feels like a second job that doesn't even pay. The average job seeker spends 50 to 200 hours dedicated to applying before they get a job. Companies are running 40% more interviews per hire. And the most messed up part is 3 out of 4, 75% of qualified people never even make it past the algorithm. They're filtered out before a human ever reads their name. You did everything they told you. You got the degree, you earned the certification, you learned the systems, and now the same systems are the reasons you can't get seen. You click apply and it feels like throwing your resume into space. No response, no feedback, just silence. So no, the system isn't broken. It's just built for a world that doesn't exist anymore. You're applying to entry-level roles that want 3 to 5 years of experience, mid-level positions asking for 7, and if you don't check every single box, the system deletes you before you ever get a chance to explain that you can learn. But what if you stop waiting to be chosen? What if instead of begging for experience, you built it? Because in 2026, companies don't hire potential, they hire proof. And you don't get proof by waiting for someone to give you permission. You get it by creating something of your own. You can build out your own track record. You can build your own experience. You can turn rejection into resume fuel. So today we're talking about what it means to start a business, not to get rich, but to get hired. To stop competing for attention and start proving your value in public. Because the new economy doesn't reward potential, it rewards proof. So let's build yours. Welcome to episode 32 of Everything Entrepreneurship with Jerome Carter, the podcast, the place, the home for ambitious professionals building their dreams in between meetings, after work, and before the sun rises. Chances are you've already picked your business model, studied your favorite guru, and been told what to do. Now I'm here to teach you how to actually do it, how to show up even when you're not motivated and when life gets in the way. In this episode, I'm giving you a perspective on entrepreneurship that nobody's talking about. We're going to unpack how to get noticed and to create a fighting chance in the job market that's forgotten how to see potential by building your own proof, one project at a time. This episode kicks off a 2-part series, so if you want to keep learning how to turn your career into leverage, follow and subscribe right now and share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it, someone who's too talented to stay unseen. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh man, I'd say about 90% of jobs can be taught. Outside of the specialized professions, doctors, lawyers, nurses, engineers, architects, pilots, right? That 10%, yes, you really need experience. But 90% of jobs actually can be taught. As in, if you put the person in and you show them exactly how to do the job, within a good amount of time, they'll be able to do it at or above average of what you expect for the job. Let me grab my iPad. So when people talk about experience, it basically means the time in which people catch on and hit the ground running, and most times in proportion to the amount of time they spent doing the thing, thus the value of having experience. That along with there's a good chance that they have encountered some of the variations and nuance that comes with a particular job. That's the value of experience. Now that means the job gets done, but that doesn't mean that the job gets done well, or if they're the best fit for a company or organization, right? Now hold on to my iPad. Actually, no, I'll put it up here. And before I dive into what I mean in order to get hired, I'm going to lay out the exact steps, what I believe you should do, how you can stand out and leverage it. Now, let me take a quick moment to give a story about myself. And no, I'm not one of those people. I hate them that say, if I did it, you can do it. You should just do what I do. No, that's not how it goes. This story is my experience, but I've also seen, helped others through, and there's even articles out right now as to prove in some capacity that this is the next thing for the workplace and getting hired more efficiently in 2026. So quick backstory for me. Okay, so let me set the tone. It was March 2018 and I was working at the bank. And I wanted to work at Mercedes-Benz, popular dealership in the area. And I wanted to find some sort of position in which I could compound my business, my marketing, all the different know-how that I already had, and take that to the next level in some capacity, right? So I applied and they were like, hey, the only job we have call me for an interview. Hey, the only job we have is this job answering the phones and basically connecting them to the online sales manager. Are you interested? And at the time, I don't know, they were offering me like $30,000, and my little bills back then, I'm like, I honestly can't do that. It doesn't make sense. I can't go backwards. They're like, oh, but you can get a foot in the industry and then you can learn and all this other stuff. And I was like, that's cool, but I can't do it. I need to pay my bills. Thank you, but I have to pass, right? Fast forward to June or July. They call me back. Hey, KJC, we have a job opening. We need you to come in. Can you come in for an interview tomorrow, right? It was a Monday. I go in there on Tuesday. I'm like, okay, let's see what they got. I turned them down already. I'm glad that they didn't think that was a burnt bridge. Let's see what they have. Next day in the morning, I tell the bank, hey, I'm feel a little sick. I can't come in today. Cough, cough, you feel me? So I go into the interview, looking all clean, you feel me? It's Mercedes-Benz, that's luxury. I go in there and they say, hey, we have a job opening. The guy that did this job did it for 13 years and he done quit. He put his 2 weeks in and he has 1 week left. You work at the bank. You're good with numbers, right? This job needs people that are good with numbers. And at that time, I'm like, I don't know. I know some basic math, but it's not my thing. Numbers, I'm not good with computers. This is all internal. I'm like, before I could say, no, I'm not that good with numbers just because I work at the bank, they're like, it pays $60,000 plus commission. The moment they said that, I was like, I don't care what it is. I said, I'm gonna learn how to do this. So I said, yeah, the numbers, I'm good with numbers. Yeah, you're right. And I can do this job. What was the job? It was warranty administrator, right? For the whole dealership. Basically making sure that the appropriate amount was charged back to Mercedes as per what we put out in parts, service, and etc. Right? I had no experience in this. I looked online, and the position requires at least a college degree, which I didn't have, and it required a couple years of experience, not just for them, for their specific position, but also when I was looking on Indeed other positions. The average application or the average job required about like 2 or 3 years of experience in a dealership, in which I was over here like, golly, but KJC been KJC. I've always been that gung-ho head first. I'm gonna get this thing done, right? So it didn't matter. I said, if it's anything that can be taught, I can learn it. So it is what it is. I basically had to go in Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and Friday morning before work at the bank, so I could sit with the guy who was on his way out. Because that Friday, I came in for the interview, talked to service manager, talked to the COO, talked to the CFO. They said, you're a good fit. Let's get this thing going. And the only time that I had to learn the job was literally 2 to 3 hours before my job at the bank. I started at 9. I had to be there at the dealership at like 7 o'clock, basically. And that 6 hours, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, was all I had. After he left, I couldn't really call him to ask him, hey, how do you do this? And I just had to hit the ground running. I will say it would have been easier if I had known the system or just anything about warranty in general. I knew nothing. I took that 6 hours, took my little notes, and I made it work. Fast forward a year, because I told you I started my job with a quit date in mind, a year and a month. A year later, they're like, oh my goodness, you're doing better than the guy that was here for like 13 years. How do you do this? Everything is firing on all cylinders. We're getting this money back more than we expected. I'm over here, I think 26 years old, 60,000 plus commission. It's not bad then, right? Especially for 26. Long story short, or long story less long, that job on paper says, and if I went somewhere else and said, hey, I don't have a degree and I don't have any experience, they would have looked at me and been like, what the heck, get out of here. Can you not read? Like, well, get out of here. We need people that need experience in this. If not, you can't get the job done, let alone this guy. Little KJC goes in and he makes the company more money than the guy did for the last decade. So that was my anecdote. But let's take it away from me. Let's look at the bigger picture, right? Or let me put it like this. In the rooms that I'm in, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, whether it's one-on-one with my clients, whether it's just basic networking events and stuff like that, or just within my circle of peer group or groups that I'm in, two things stand out as to what they need more so than experience, because they know a job can get taught. The two qualities that any HR director, CEO, owner actually wants at the end of the day, outside of hopefully, do you know how to do the thing, are these two things. One, how obsessive over the job getting done can you be? And two, how can you adapt? If you're 100% guaranteed that you know that you did the right thing and that this is the right decision, if it all falls apart, how do you react? Those two qualities are what's defining the workplace now. Can you obsess over getting the job done? Are you going to get sidetracked? Can somebody take your focus away? Or are you said, you know what, I'm going to get this thing done. I said I was going to get it done by this time. Nothing's going to stop me. Obviously, work-life balance. I'm not talking about after work or on weekends, but in the hours that you're giving the company, can you obsess over getting it done right? Can you obsess over getting it right, done fast? And can you obsess over getting it done right the first time so there's no mistakes or as little mistakes as possible? And then two, how much can you adapt? It doesn't matter if you honestly believe that you are right. What if you are wrong? Are you going to take a while to implode, explode? Are you going to take it on somebody else? Or are you going to chalk it up and say, you know what, that's on me. We got to move forward. Those are the two main qualities that people want a little bit beyond experience. Let me clarify one more thing before I go forward. I'm not talking about the person that's I always say this, the person that's been in accounting and just wants to be a chef out of nowhere. Should they have a fair shot against everybody else? I'm not necessarily saying that. I'm saying something that speaks to people that are in a very tight spot right now, because the degree that they said, if you get this degree, you're going to get a job, you're going to make this money, that didn't happen. And most degrees that you get aren't hiring in the industry that you got the degree in. So there's many people, I'd say tens of millions, maybe even 100 million people out in America that went to school, have a degree, and they worked maybe a year and a half here, 6 months here, 2 months here, and maybe like another 2 years there. You have over 5 years of work experience, but not in one specific industry. I believe you have different qualities from those different things that you can apply and go headfirst into the industry that you really want to make your career, not just a job, and that you should get a fair chance in whatever that is that you want to go after. It shouldn't be such a high barrier of entry, especially if you can get the job in proportion or compared to the person that has the experience but isn't going to be a good employee. Obviously, is there an easy way to dictate who's going to be a good employee? No. They try to make these different tests and stuff like that that are like psychological, like just exams that take hours long, which are really annoying. But that's not how it is. So if that's the problem, and granted, there's many parts to this problem. If we have people that are unemployed and the jobs that are now here, there's even more people applying to these jobs. And we already know that 75% of these qualified people, not people that are unqualified, qualified and can get the job done, aren't even seen. What do we do so that we can trigger these systems, trigger these people that are looking for these to say, you know what, they do have the experience? Because I don't know, hopefully within the next 6 to 12 months, people realize it's not about just having these boxes checked in the quote unquote years of experience, but it's more about these interpersonal things, this obsession, this adaptability, and how much do you know? I've seen somebody that has about a year of experience in graphic design compared to 6 years. Yes, the person with 6 years has seen some things, and they can navigate these systems a little bit. But I've seen the person with 1 year of experience or less than that, because they focused on that in their free time, be able to navigate some of these softwares and systems better than the vet, quote unquote. So I just want to give you a fighting chance. I believe that if you're going after these jobs, you're doing it because you want them, not just for money, but because you want to have something that you can tolerate, if not like. And if the experience is the thing that's keeping you out, let's get you that experience, especially if you're tired of jobs, you want a career, and you want to start stacking these dedicated years in this industry. You start a business. Let me hold on. So that's the problem, right? So let me get to the solution. Starting a business isn't just for entrepreneurs. It's the smartest way to prove your value in public. This is great for people that are unemployed, who are already constantly applying for jobs but don't have the experience. Great for those with a year of experience, but positions want that 3+. This is ideal for those in college. This is ideal for those that are employed but haven't qualified for the industry they want to break into. And this is even great for those that have like a year or less of experience, but positions require that 3-year, 2-year difference, right? You're basically going to start a business in the industry that you need the experience in, and then leverage that experience into the job you're looking for. But I got to warn you, trying this out, let me look at you real quick. Doing this is going to actually give you experience in your industry. Doing this is going to build your connections. Doing this is going to give you the experience you actually need. Doing this is going to help you learn the lingo, the terms, the acronyms in the industry. And worst of all, and this is a big warning, this might even get you some money while you're getting the experience. I know, KJC, why am I putting people down this road? I don't know. I always say entrepreneurship might not be for everybody, but in this instance, entrepreneurship is a tool. Leverage it the way you can, the way you have to get what you want. You feel me? We're not breaking rules. We're not, I know there's nepotism out there. It's not about what you know. It's about who you know. There's people that are unqualified, don't have the experience, that can easily get put in these positions, whereas you're over here trying your best to go after them. Companies are even putting out ghost positions where they have no intentions or openings to hiring anybody, but they put out these to get you excited. But let me give you some proof as to why this is the direction everything is going, and then I'll get into exactly what it is you need to do, the steps, right? Recruiters and business owners see the value of self-starters. Where are we at? So this article from Entrepreneur Forge, basically, this compilation of opinions from business leaders shows that many view self-employment as a major asset because it demonstrates key qualities traditional candidates lack. A lot of them say. One business owner said, "I noticed very clearly through the hundreds of resumes and applicants we've received that any time there was a clear entrepreneurial experience, I was more inclined to consider that person. They're also likely to be well-versed in many areas of business, examples of sales, marketing, clients, operations, etc. I like the idea of someone that's well-rounded," right? Another article, this is from recruiter.com. The advantages of hiring entrepreneurs are clear. Their entrepreneurial experience fosters resilience, adaptability, and innovation, making them exceptional hires. Companies recognizing the value of hiring will gain a team that pushes boundaries and drives growth. The article also notes that self-employed individuals can wear multiple hats and adapt quickly, are resilient, and thrive in uncertainty. That's all you need to be a business owner. And are natural innovators and problem solvers. These are skills that are highly valued in modern, fast-paced corporate environments, right? As I've helped other people through this, because this isn't just had a thought, put it out. No, I'm not going to do that to you guys. This has to be well-rounded, not just I feel. No, this is backed. You can do this, and in some instances, you might need to do this. The experience is one of the biggest pieces. That's the barrier to entry. So these articles show that even if you have on your resume that you own a business, so long as there's not a direct conflict of interest, they want to hire you because they know that the entrepreneurs stand out more, right? Whereas I'm helping you with the experience and the how-to to get in there. When it comes to resumes, that's not my forte. What I can do is I can suggest you and recommend exactly who you need to go to. This is not a paid sponsorship. I'm not getting compensated in any way. But if you need your resume top tier so you can get the most out of this process, you need this job, reach out to Christian. Christian of CJW Consulting Group. I'm going to put his website down below and his LinkedIn. Any and everything resume, trying to get more money in the next position, go reach out to him, get the job done. He's a good man. And when I can't do something, I'm going to send people to the pros that can do something. I don't need to wear every single hat. So the articles speak to how this is a trend coming up. And again, I've had conversations with directors of HR, with different business owners, CEOs, and they're all considering the same thing. It's not as common yet. Why we lead trends, we don't follow them, you feel me? But the ones that they do come across, it's happening more often than you think. They're the ones that are like, no, you ran a business in any capacity, you have a little bit more qualification than the person that didn't. But now let's get into exactly how you can start a business to get the experience until you can get the job of your dreams or career of your dreams, right? Like I said, this is not meant to make you a millionaire by any means. This is meant to give you the experience so that you can get the job. And while you're waiting to get that job, you're getting the experience. You're meeting the people and all this other stuff. So let's get into this. This is going to be lean. This isn't going to be too complex. It's not going to be too complicated. I promise. In this instance, we're leveraging a business so you can get a job. So I'm not going to make it complex at all. Step one, you're going to start one of three businesses. You're either going to start a quality assurance business, a content and lead sourcing business, or a recruitment adjacent business. What do you mean, KJC? Well, I got you. So number one is going to be a quality assurance business, right? This is where you're basically collecting data, satisfaction surveys from products or services. This can be local. These can be small or medium businesses right by your house. This doesn't have to be huge, right? We're picking an industry. If my industry is, I don't know, restaurants, I'm going to find a restaurant right by my house. And I'm going to say, hey, this is my company. I survey the customers that you've had so that I can give you the feedback as to what they really think so you can make your service better, right? When we're starting these businesses, we're not trying to get rich. Many people find that offering this for free for like the first 3 people is enough. And then from there, it's too much work on top of what they already do. And then they start charging to be one of those 3, right? Or you can charge a very low price. Hey, for $50 or for $100 or for the month, for $1,000, whatever it is you think is adequate, depending on your industry and depending on the size of the business. But you're basically gonna, let's just say in this example, I'm gonna go up to a restaurant and say, hey, this is my business. I'm all about quality assurance. In the world of AI, we have to connect with people. So if you have a list of past customers in the last week, 2 weeks, month, whatever you want to say, I can reach out to them and I can ask them 5 to 10 questions about their experience. What made them pull the trigger about coming in? What made them choose you over somebody else, and etc. By doing that, you'll have more information. You'll be able to connect with your clients. You'll be able to make deals and stuff like that that better speaks to the people that trust and choose you over somebody else, right? That's something simple. Now, when I started this, I said restaurants. This can be any type of business. This can be salons. Let's take it up top. Let's make this tech. Go reach out to a tech company. It can be a small startup. It can be a nonprofit. And you're basically reaching out to the past customers that they have of products. They might be beta testers, whatever it might be. They might already be looking at feedback, but what makes them want to actually be a customer or a consumer? By doing this, the moment that you get one person that says, all right, cool, if it's free, if it's only $100, if it's only $500, then here, I'll give you my customer list, reach out to them, or I'll let them know that they're going to be reached out to by a third party. Now, you know what? You're in the tech industry. It doesn't matter if you say that all I'm working with is tech clients and I'm speaking the language, I'm talking to the customers, you're getting the experience on paper. If you were to fast forward a year, you now have a year in tech while you're also making money until you can actually get the job, right? So that's quality assurance. You can apply that to anything. And that's what I'm doing here. I didn't pick just extremes. I wanted to pick what are 3 different types of businesses that you can choose that are adaptable, right? Got to be adaptable. Number 2 is a content and lead sourcing. So there's 2 ways you can go about this. Organic, paid, right? If you strap for cash, do this organic. You're basically just going to create content, written or video, and you're going to build an email list, whether that's just staying on top of what's happening in your industry, and you're basically going to compile. Let's just say I'm in Cherry Hill. I'm in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, right? I'm going to make a list of the top 10 law firms in Cherry Hill, and I'm basically going to talk to the people, make content around that industry, and I'm going to get their information. And then I'm going to do a survey. Hey, who have you called? Have you been impacted by something you've needed a law firm? What was your experience? And then I'm going to reach out to these law firms in my area. Hey, I'm a law company in your area, and I'm basically ranking the top law firms in this area. I'm hearing this. What feedback do you have? And by doing that, you not only have a decision maker that cares about their business, but what they want to talk to the people. It might sound a little messy, but you'd be surprised how many people actually make these different types of these free businesses, literally just talking to consumers, talking to businesses and connecting the messages. Hey, this is what I'm hearing out here. You said you wanted to do this work pro bono. They said, if you could only do this, or you know what, these customers are saying that they're hearing these things on the radio, but when they call in, it's a long time. If you want, I can give you a couple things that they're saying, as in you could charge them, or you could say, you know what, if you want to be placed in this newsletter that I'm sending out, because now I've compiled a list of 500 people, 200 people, 50 people, I can put you at the top. This article is sponsored by so-and-so law, right? Little things like this is how you can, again, You can do this as a service for free. You could charge for it. Doesn't matter. I'm using law firms. This could be landscaping. This could be grocery stores. It could be dentists. You pick what you want. You're starting a business. You're getting experience. You're talking to the people, potentially making money. That was the organic. Now you have the paid. If you have a little bit of money, $5 a day, $10 a day, you can run some very simple ads saying, hey, we can help you find the best blank free of charge. When I first started out with dealerships, I basically said, hey, I'm going to run my own ads. I'm going to help you find the car that you're looking for free of charge. Get their information. Make sure that I had a VA call them, answer within 5 minutes. After 5, it gets much harder to convert them. Get their information. I basically just did bird dog. Hey, dealership, I got this person looking for this car that's in your lot. If I send them over to you and they get the car, I want a bird dog fee. Bird dog fee is like a commission to be the broker, right? Obviously, depending on your industry, make sure that's legal in your specific state. But being the middleman, getting leads and connecting them to businesses. By doing that, you can say, hey, I got 10 leads. I paid money for them. I just need to break even. But you have that relationship. You're talking to these people. And again, as you're doing this, you're getting the experience in this industry. So that's the paid. So third is like recruitment. Whereas the other one, quality assurance, was external. This is going to be internal. To make sure that morale is high and everything like that. Pick your industry, whatever you want, and you're basically going to say, hey, my company only works with this industry, and I do internal surveys that can give you anonymous feedback from your employees. We already do that. Well, okay, do you do exit surveys? When people are let go, do you want to find out what they honestly think? Not what they're going to tell you because they're on their way out and they need that recommendation, but do you want to know what they really think? What about culture measurement, happiness measurement? You'd be surprised as to what people are measuring now. You have like director of happiness and culture in some of these companies by saying, hey, I'm a third party, I'm unbiased, I'm going to compile this data so that you can have better work experience. Not only are you going to learn the inner workings of the specific industry, you're going to make these connections, and again, you're going to make some money along the way. These don't have to be, I'm going to scale this up, make $10,000 a month. It's more so starting a business to understand the business, to get paid from the business so you can connect with the business. You might not even need the job at the end of the day, but if you do, while you're doing it, you're still getting the experience. I honestly believe if you get a degree, let's say in psychology, you should have at least 2 years off rip. Any degree, you should have 2 years of quote unquote experience that you can apply to your resume, right? I'm almost done, y'all. Almost done. So those are 3 types of businesses. Next, you're gonna basically pick what's the name. It's got to be very simple, credible, and direct. You pick a city or region, your industry that you want to focus on, and the action or value. Philadelphia Marketing Assurance, Boston Data Review, Tri-State HR Insight, Metro Operation Collective. Little things like this. It should sound like a firm, not a side hustle. Now, if we were getting to the SEO, the branding, the marketing of it, oh man, you know I'm the marketing strategist. I can get this thing popping, not just top of Google, but top of the LLMs, ChatGPT. Let me stop. Let me get off of business. We're talking entrepreneurship right now. Before we get to the last part, I want to take a moment real quick to say if this episode is hitting home, then you probably know it's time to stop waiting and start building. Whether you're trying to get noticed by employers or trying to finally launch what's been on your mind, I can help you figure out exactly what that looks like for you. Click the first link in the description and let's talk. It's going to be a focused 30-minute conversation with myself to help you figure out what your next best step is. Subtle plug, but so yeah, let's get back to it. So lastly, how do you execute this? And I want to say again, this is not legal or financial advice. You should go to your legal or financial person that you have. So let's get clear. You can identify your desired industry and what skill you want to build proof in. Next, you're going to actually register LLC. You just need 3 things for the most part, 4 now. Register your business with your state, get your EIN number from the IRS, open up a business bank account, and now you just need a social media profile. Technically, I would say go get a professional email. I can hook you up with that. I use GoDaddy. Okay, I need to do a collaboration with GoDaddy. But with GoDaddy, depending on when you go, you can get your domain, you can get your hosting, you can get your professional email, all that stuff, like $35, depending on what you're going after. So you want to get your business in order. That's not hard. Depending on your state, that's anywhere from like $100 to $200. You waste that on coffee nowadays, or whatever it might be. So you can get your business off the ground, i.e. started. It's nowhere near as difficult as anybody makes it to think. If you really, really, really need help, I know Taylor Brands helps people with that. There's so many different services. Don't get scammed because you don't need people for that much to get overcharged. But you're going to start your business, and then after that, we get to the strategy. You want to document your work. So this is the part that takes it to the next level. All you're going to do is document your work. You don't need to actively make content unless it's the content business. Documenting your work gives you case studies, real case studies, stories, and lessons that you can tell people. You're going to pick, are you a short form person or a long form person? You got LinkedIn and one of two, LinkedIn in short form or LinkedIn in long form. And you're basically going to LinkedIn write out these thoughts, document your process, and you're going to just reflect. On short form, you're going to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing it for. I'm excited to be learning this, making these connections, boom. For long form, if you're actually like, hey, I did some studying, I did some research, compiled some information, I'm going to lay this all out so it can help you as it helped me. And that's how you're going to get your content out there. You got your business up, you got your content out, you're making connections, now you got experience. And it's not as bad as a process as you thought it was. Treat every client or project as on-the-job experience. You're reaching out to real companies and offering these many services. Again, it doesn't have to be charged for money just to get the experience if you really don't want to. But if you do want to charge for money, you're justified because you're doing a service for them. You're not pretending to be an expert, you're becoming one in public. And then really briefly for couples or friends that want to do this, you guys can start a business. One person takes care of the operations, one person takes care of the product or service delivery, one person takes care of the light marketing, And then at that point, you have a legit business. Give yourself these positions. You're in it, you're living it, and that's your experience now. This won't work overnight, but you will be leagues ahead of millions of people going after jobs in the same industry by doing this. Again, you're going to have the experience. You're going to know the lingo. You're going to have the connections, and you can even make money. This might not make you a CEO overnight. It's not a shortcut. It's a skill builder. But what it will do is put you in a league of professionals who stopped waiting and started creating. That's how you start a business to get hired. Especially if you're watching this far, you got this, man. It's not easy out here. It's hard. It's only going to get worse. People are using AI to get their jobs, and people are using AI to judge these jobs. Now AI is talking to AI. The more people that use AI to figure out what they do instead of actually using their brains, sitting down, typing out their notes, just like I do with these episodes. You can stand out by being authentic. You can stand out by being yourself, and you can stand out by really connecting with people. That's all I got for this. Again, so whereas this video was how to get the experience, the next one up is going to be how to actually get the job, master the interview. Again, this is 2026. Nobody else is talking about this, but that's what Jerome Carter is here for. That's what everything entrepreneurship is here for. So again, if you've been watching this far, hit that subscribe button. If you want help one-on-one, click my link below. If you need help with your resume, again, I am not getting compensated by any way, but put yourself first and go reach out to Christian. But with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Leave me a comment below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode.